There's this story I once heard, one that's always stayed with me. It's about a samurai and a monk. And trust me, it's not just another old tale, it's different. Let me tell you. So, picture this. High up in the misty mountains of Kyoto, where the cherry blossoms just seem to dance along with the wind, like nature's own quiet poetry, there was this old monk, Hoshin, his name was, wise, gentle, the kind of person who didn't just speak, he made you feel something. He lived in this humble little monastery, tucked away from all the noise of the world, just tending to his bonsai trees and offering guidance to anyone who came seeking it. Not too far from there, down in the bustling town of Nakano, lived Takashi. Now, Takashi, he was a samurai, and not just any samurai. He was respected, admired, the kind of warrior you'd hear stories about. Skilled with the katana, absolutely, but beneath all that armor, all that discipline, there was something eating at him, an ache, a conflict he couldn't shake. His lord had commanded him to lead an attack on a neighboring clan. But this wasn't just another battle. The rival clan had families, children, innocent lives that would be caught in the crossfire. The thought haunted him, keeping him awake in the dead of night. Duty and honor pulled him one way. Conscience and compassion pulled him another. One morning, mist hanging low, the kind where you can barely see the path ahead. Takashi decided he couldn't carry this weight alone anymore, so he made the climb to Hoshin's monastery. The journey wasn't easy, climbing those ancient stone steps while the fog clung to the air. But he pressed on, and when he finally arrived, he found Hoshin kneeling quietly in his garden, pruning the delicate leaves of a bonsai tree. Takashi dismounted his horse, bowed deeply, and said, "Hoshin-sama, I need your counsel." The monk looked up, his face as calm as a river in spring, and just nodded. "Speak, my son. What troubles you?" Takashi hesitated for a moment, like the words were caught somewhere deep in his chest. Then he finally spoke. "My lord, he's commanded me to lead an attack on a neighboring clan. My honor, it demands that I obey, but I can't shake this feeling. Innocent people will suffer, families torn apart, the bloodshed, the pain, it torments me." Hoshin didn't answer right away. Instead, he closed his eyes as if he was listening, not just to Takashi, but to the wind, the trees, the silence itself. Then, with the gentlest voice, he said, "Takashi, honor is not just the blade you carry, it's the heart behind it. Duty and conscience, they're not enemies. They must exist together in balance." Takashi nodded, but you could see it. He was still struggling. "But how? How do I stay loyal while also staying true to my heart?" And Hoshin, well, he just smiled that soft, knowing smile and gestured toward the bonsai tree. "Look here. These trees, they need care, yes? If you cut too much, they suffer. If you neglect them, they wither. Duty, my dear samurai, is like these pruning shears, and your conscience, it's the water that nourishes. Both are necessary, but together, only together, do they bring life." Takashi exhaled slowly, his brow furrowed. "So, you're saying I should defy my lord's command?" Hoshin shook his head, his voice barely above a whisper. "Not defy. Discern. Go to your lord. Speak your heart. Share your wisdom. A true leader values both strength and compassion. Perhaps your words could shift the tide before blood is shed." Takashi's eyes softened just a bit. "And if he refuses to listen?" The monk's gaze turned toward the horizon where the mountains met the sky. "Then you must walk the path of honor as best you can. Even in conflict, show mercy. Protect the innocent. Let your blade be guided not by anger, but by wisdom." And for the first time in days, maybe weeks, Takashi felt lighter. Not completely free from his burden, but somehow like he could breathe again. He bowed deeply. "Thank you, Hoshin-sama. You've given me much to consider." With that, Takashi rode back to Nakano. The mist hadn't lifted, but in his heart, clarity had begun to bloom. Now, Back in town, Takashi requested an audience with his lord, Akiyama. And let me tell you, Akiyama was not known for his patience. Stubborn as the roots of an ancient oak, some said. Still, Takashi knelt in the grand hall, his voice steady but respectful. My lord, I seek permission to speak openly about the attack you've commanded. Akiyama's eyes narrowed. You question my orders, Takashi? Deep breath. Steady now. No, my lord, I seek only to serve with true honor. This battle, it will harm not just warriors, but the innocent. I ask that we consider diplomacy before bloodshed. Silence. Heavy. Uncomfortable. The courtiers whispered, shifting where they stood. But Takashi didn't waver. And then, something unexpected. Lord Akiyama's face softened. Just a little. You are bold, Takashi. Very well. You will lead a delegation for peace, but mark my words. If you fail, there will be no further talk. Do you understand? Takashi bowed, heart pounding but steady. Yes, my lord. I will not disappoint you. The journey to the neighboring clan wasn't easy. Suspicion clouded every meeting. Tensions ran high. But Takashi remembered Hoshin's words. He led with empathy, strength, firm but never cold, and slowly barriers began to break. Conversations opened. Trust, fragile, delicate, began to form. One evening, beneath the pale silver glow of the moon, Takashi stood with the opposing lord Hayato beside a still pond. Hayato asked, "Why do you seek peace so fervently, Takashi?" And Takashi, watching the cherry blossoms drift on the water's surface, simply replied, "Because war leaves scars that never fade. Harmony, that's what makes us truly strong." And against all odds, peace was forged. When Takashi returned to Nakano, presenting the agreement, Lord Akiyama, grudgingly but sincerely, nodded in approval. You have done well, Takashi. True honor is yours. And so, the samurai who once wrestled with his conscience became a legend, not for the battles he fought, but for the lives he saved. And up in the quiet mountains, Hoshin tended his bonsai, the blossoms dancing as if whispering, balance, harmony, peace. The lesson? Strength isn't just in the blade, it's in the courage to question, to empathize, and to lead with heart, even when the world expects otherwise. Never be afraid to stand for what's right. True power is found in wisdom, restraint, and unwavering compassion.